Hey, welcome back to my channel, The Intuitive Mindset with Jeannie Lynch. Excited to talk about today's topic. So, here's a beautiful question for you. I'm sure you have a story about a time in your life where you ended up at a crossroad or at a place where you maybe had to go through a little bit of difficulty. If you're in a physical body, I assure you, you've had this experience because truly this is what life is all about. Well, here's the question I want to talk about today and share a Buddhist teaching with you. And it is, what did you do to get out of it? What tools or what mechanism did you use or create or learn about yourself to maybe get to the other side of that? And then, okay, the deeper question is, when you did get through it, get beyond it, or went through the whole process, what did you do with what the tool was that you used to get there? Did you carry it into future situations? And are you still carrying it with you? Is it something that you learned and you're calling it wisdom? Well, guess what? We're going to look at that a little deeper today, and you might find out that that thing you've been carrying that you think is such a great tool might be weighing you down. Are you curious? You know what you got to do. You got to stay listening. Listen to today's Buddhist teaching called The Raft. Enjoy. The Raft, a lesson on attachments from the Buddha. Once upon a time, the Buddha told a story about a man who came to the edge of a wide, rushing river. On his side, there was danger and fear, and on the far side, there was safety and peace. But here's the problem. There was no bridge, no boat, and no easy way across. So the man gathered branches and vines and leaves, and with great effort he built himself a beautiful raft. He paddled, he pushed, he fought the current, and finally he made it to the other side. The question here is, what should he do with his raft? The thing he worked so hard on, and the reason that he's safe on the other side. Should the monk carry this heavy raft on his back as he continues on his journey? Of course not. The raft was useful, but only for crossing the river. To keep dragging it would only weigh him down and cost him time and energy. In the Buddhist teachings, he explained that the raft is like our teachings. It's those ideas and our beliefs and attachments, and even those things that maybe once saved us. They serve a purpose at the time, but eventually we must learn to let them go. So remember today's teaching about attachment. Holding on too tightly keeps us from moving forward. Okay, so to dive a little deeper into this teachings today, we can think about this beautiful metaphor as the raft, as some of those coping mechanisms that we've created to survive. Let's go back to our childhood for a little moment, right? Let's say you've developed hypervigilance because your mother had a lot of anger. Or what about becoming a perfectionist because, after all, you really needed your dad's approval, right? Those could be rafts, okay? What comes to mind in my own experience is my childhood was a little chaotic just because we had so many kids in our family. I was the last of seven. So humor for me became my raft. And if I could just make people laugh, I could kind of settle the mood in the house, right? But as I became an adult, my humor sometimes at work was seen as sarcasm. So, in a sense, the raft that had once saved me out of those situations had become something else as I matured. So, these are just some things that I want you to think about. And I want you to know that when we develop these skills and these attachments to these things that get us there, there is going to be a time where we need to let those things go because we grow. We are expanding and we might not need them. In fact, we could hold them almost as a crutch. Number 2 point I want to make is that we can't get attached, there's the beautiful word in the work we're doing today, to the identity of these rafts, right? I'm the achiever. I'm the caregiver. I am the grief person, right? I am the doer. These are labels, and we become attached to those wrapped as our identity. And the point I want to make here is that letting go is just as important as obtaining these beautiful mechanisms, these wisdom nuggets as you grow and go and expand in your own experience. But they serve a purpose. The purpose has stopped, and then be open to what the new experience is. So the point here is that we must be willing to explore every experience from the beginning, not like we need those old rafts. So hopefully that makes sense. The last point I want to make is number 3, and it is that true growth, you must experience death in a way many times in your life. You must let things end for the new to begin. The death card in tarot, right? This happens not just once, but many times in your life. And that, my friend, is a new beginning and the whole point of today's video. So here's today's question to ponder. What rafts might you still be carrying? And don't you think it's time just to thank them or it and put them down and move on?